Would you like to reverse osteoporosis naturally without relying on harsh medications? Or are you looking to prevent osteopenia from progressing to osteoporosis? Make sure you're not making any of these 6 common mistakes. Hi, I'm Glory B, and this is GloryB-TV. I reversed osteoporosis naturally without the bone drugs when I was 61 years old. Now I'm 65 and I'm doing well. I know many people who want to reverse osteoporosis or make sure their bones don't go to osteoporosis, but they're making some mistakes. Let's go over the mistakes you might be making when you're wanting to reverse osteoporosis naturally. The first mistake you're likely making, and that many people make, is not getting your vitamin D level in your blood to the right level. And you can't do that without getting your blood tested regularly. Now, what do I mean by regularly? I mean once or twice a year. Vitamin D is a crucial nutrient for building strong, healthy bones. If your doctor advises you to, and I quote, take 2,000 IUs of vitamin D3 daily, without first testing your blood levels, it might be time to seek a second opinion. Two people taking the same dose of vitamin D3 and getting the same amount of sun exposure can still have vastly different vitamin D levels in their blood. That's why starting with a blood test is so important. The owner of the tree trimming business I hired learned the hard way that his vitamin D level was too low. Now, since he spent hours outdoors nearly every day of the year, he assumed his levels of vitamin D were adequate and never had his blood tested. Unfortunately, he ended up developing a disease commonly linked to low vitamin D. While he was in the hospital, a blood test revealed his vitamin D level to be around 30 ngml, which is nanograms per milliliter. I aim to get my numbers between 70 and 85. That might sound high to you, but I've done a lot of research on this over the years, and this is the optimal range. Meanwhile, the Institute of Medicine recommends a vitamin D level is just 20 nanograms per milliliter. I mean, seriously? That makes no sense. I participate in a vitamin D study that tests my blood twice a year in the spring and fall. The results are available to me online, allowing me to get the information I need so that I can adjust my vitamin D3 supplement dosage as needed. If you're interested in learning more or joining the vitamin D study, I'll include a link in the description box. Below the video, tap the word more to open the description box, and then tap the word more a second time, and the box will open completely. Then scroll down to where it says product shown or mentioned. I'll also put the information in the first comment. Checking my test results. So my last few tests had been lower than I want, like 59 in October 2024. As I scroll through my prior results, I see some highlighted in red where the numbers fell below 40. Now, when I look at the dates of those low numbers, I remember that I was in very stressful times, which is kind of true now as well. And that tells me when I'm in high stress, I need to increase my vitamin D3 supplement intake. Here is a bonus you get from having a higher level of vitamin D in your body. The last time I was sick with a cold was a whole 11 months ago, and that was while I was traveling and not getting enough sleep. I haven't had the flu since 1975. Plus, I never got that disease, which starts with the letter C. The people behind the vitamin D study are looking closely at the subjects and have found that having a vitamin D level of between 70 and 85 ngml is helping people to fight off colds and flu and to have a better immune system all around. By the way, it's important when taking a vitamin D3 supplement to take it with food that has at least a small amount of fat in it because this vitamin is fat soluble. I usually eat a raw nut, such as a raw almond or cashew, right before I take my vitamin D3. I'll also link below to the D3 supplement I take. The second mistake you might be making is skipping exercise altogether or not doing the right kind of exercises to effectively build bone. Bones require weight bearing and impact exercises to stimulate proper growth. The safest and most effective weight bearing exercises are various forms of weight training, which should include both upper and lower body workouts. The single arm dumbbell row, lateral raises, bicep curls, reverse flies. These are all exercises you can do with dumbbell weights at home. You can also do push-ups. You can start out doing push-ups against a wall, leaning into the wall at an angle. When I started doing push-ups on the floor, I could only do 2. A friend told me a way to train myself so that I got strong enough to eventually do 20 push-ups at a time. And I do those 5 times for a total of 100 push-ups. I showed how to do that in this video that I'll link in the description box and in a card. For lower body weight training, I typically have to go to a gym, but there are other forms of impactful lower body exercises that build bone. For example, jumping, which I demonstrated and taught how to do in this video, and you can jump with me in this other video. Jumping is a great exercise to build real bone, and it's what I used to reverse osteoporosis. Now, jumping can be too impactful for a lot of people. So if jumping is too impactful for you, then stomping may work well. I demonstrated the stomping exercise in this video to show you the proper way to do it. If stomping is too impactful for you, then doing heel drops and a march type of walking may work. I showed how to do heel drops and march walking in this video. If you can do jogging, running, or other high impact aerobic workouts, that will help to build bone. Also, hiking, dancing, jumping rope, playing tennis, and even workouts with resistance bands will help to build bone. And also add brisk walking to your daily routine. Swing your arms as you walk. Build up your speed of walking over time and build up the length of time you're out walking. Now, the last town I lived in had an indoor walking track that anyone could use at any time for free. I really miss that in the winter. Maybe the area where you live has an indoor track that is free to use. The third mistake many people make is eating too much sugar. The problem with sugar is that it can have a damaging effect on cartilage, and as reported by Save Our Bones, quote, studies have shown that consuming excessive quantities of sugar cause a large urinary calcium excretion increase, both in healthy study subjects and in those who are prone to kidney stones. This is not surprising since sugar is a highly acidifying food. Eating foods that make the body more acidic can interfere with proper bone building at the cellular level. If you have a sweet tooth like I do, this can be a tough habit to break. Over time, I've retrained my taste buds by swapping table sugar for healthier options like fresh fruit, maple syrup, and dates. The fourth mistake made by lots and lots of people is eating and drinking dairy. Why? Because dairy doesn't build strong bones, contrary to what we've been told by the dairy organization's marketing messages. We've been told for years that eating and drinking dairy builds bones, but actually the opposite is true. If you look deeper at those so-called studies, you'll see the sponsors who paid for those studies were organizations such as the Dairy Council. Many independent studies have shown that eating cheese and drinking milk does nothing to build bones properly. The acidifying effect of dairy in the body causes several health problems. I talked at length about this problem and what to do about it in this video. In fact, any foods and drinks that give you an acidic body will work against your bones. Besides dairy, these foods include colas, coffee, and alcohol. And that brings me to problem number 5. Not eating enough fresh vegetables and fresh fruit. Now, this fresh produce is packed with amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. The nutrients we need for bone health are vitamin K, vitamin B6, manganese, copper, zinc, boron, and silicon. dark leafy green vegetables, root vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and sea vegetables all have these nutrients in abundance and will help to build real strong bones. I've also read about people eating 6 prunes a day to increase their boron intake. Now, that's a lot of prunes if you know what I mean. Eat them cautiously. If you're concerned about the oxalates in the greens you eat, when you lightly steam or saute them, the oxalates will dissipate. There's plenty of evidence available online for you to study that prove that. And that brings me to mistake number 6, eating too much gluten. Well, what is the problem with that? Gluten, which is found in wheat, rye, and barley, can be problematic because it causes inflammation in the body, particularly the highly processed and intensively farmed wheat common in the United States. Inflammation can deplete vital nutrients from your bones, hindering their strength and health. Dr. Shostak, who I've interviewed several times in the past about osteoporosis, talked about how gluten becomes inflammatory in the body and how many of her patients were eating gluten at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe even for snacks. But it's easy to do that, isn't it? Bread, crackers, cereal, pasta, yeah. I've known people who've had other types of diseases that were due to inflammation in their bodies. Cutting out gluten from their diet made a huge difference in their symptoms and in their life. I know it's hard to eliminate gluten, but your bones will love you for it. And with the wide variety of gluten-free options and gluten-free flours available now, removing gluten from your diet and replacing it with better options has never been easier. If you're ready to add some bone-building exercises to your daily routine, tap the word "more" below the video to open the description box where all the videos I've mentioned are linked, along with all of the other links I've talked about. 2 of the exercise videos are here on the right side of your screen. Tap one of the images to check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.